let's come back together. Oh Jerusalem, such holy place. Oh Jerusalem, I'm going there one day. Oh Jerusalem.
That was Jerusalem by the Abyssinians. That's one of those songs where it kind of has that old church vibe. You know, it's got the good rocking hymn, you know, spiritual. It gets you tapping your feet. I like that. That's one of the things that I like about reggae music, especially there's different types of reggae music. You know, there's the brand is called, or this genre is called, you know, roots. You have the dance hall, which is, you know, the more secular, you know, kind of shoot up the dance floor. You know, I'm not really into a lot of that. But anyways, that was a good one. And that was just a carryover from the last episode. Chew on this. I hope you did. I hope you chewed on it. I hope it was food for thought. I hope it just helped you out. I hope the words, you know, that was from a sermon from a church, a prayer chapel and ministry down in I'm going to say Georgia. I'm not sure. It's somewhere in the South, but it's really there's a lot of I don't know. Just there was a lot in that, and I had written it down. At least I'm gonna say like maybe a year or two ago, and I had saved it, and I thought, you know, this would be, you know, just a good one to start off, you know, the episode with. And I decided to just, you know, instead of me coming on and trying to make comments on what, you know, the sermon said, I said, let me just put some music on there. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Please leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and you know, tell somebody, you know, if you know anybody who just likes really good music or just wants to hear an inspirational, you know, comment or something, just have them come to that, check out that episode. But you know, this is Sephora Ibrahim. I am the artistic editor, the editor-in-chief of artisticministry.com, or .net rather. And you are listening to this is going to be episode 33 of this fiery trial. Can you believe it's 33 episodes? And I didn't think it was going to be that long, you know, but I decided, you know, again, just to start sharing, you know, just experiences that I've had, and just how this is just this is like a roller coaster, and also just, you know, what it is that has helped me make it through. Because, you know, like, and I know I've said this before, if it wasn't for the Most High, I know I would be dead. There's just no doubt about it. You know, the Most High, His Holy Spirit, the light of the Messiah, has definitely helped me. And so when you have that type of a reason to be grateful, you have to, how would we say it, you have to return the favor. And so, you know, this is my way of just sharing to just show my gratitude to the Most High, to please Him, and, you know, with the hope that it will inspire and help someone else to make it through, because this is a fiery trial. You know, make no bones about it. This is hard. It is It covers all areas of your life, and, you know, it's not nameless. It used to be nameless. I didn't know what it was, but now I know what it is. It's gang stalking, it's targeting, it's touchless torture, it's adult bullying, it's community harassment. It goes by many different names, but that's what we are dealing with. If you are experiencing this, if you are having people perform street theater, if you're having the color coding where someone is, you know, maybe different people, various points in a day, throughout the day, are walking by you or engaging you in some type of an activity or engagement, and there you notice that they all happen to be wearing like a certain color of clothing. It could be red, it could be black, it could be a red-black combination, or it might even be white. It might even be, I don't know, orange or brown or yellow or something. But if you notice it constantly over and over, that's the color coding. They can do the brightening where they're driving by you, either coming up on you, you know, behind you, or, you know, on the road, you know, on, you know, opposite road with one headlight on or both headlights on, and they're on, you know, the brights are on in the middle of the day. You get the incessant hang-up phone calls and weird noise campaigns where, you know, and you can tell, you know, where it just seems just too staged, you know, where, you know, your neighbors before, were just as quiet as mouse, but now all of a sudden they're having these fake arguments and slamming things and, yelling right outside your door or across the hallway or something, at, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're dealing with the sleep deprivation and you feel like somebody's been in your home. Some things look like they've been moved around. Maybe there's a window open in the back where it wasn't before, or just, all of that. That's just a few of the tactics that they can use. And it is, it's relentless. It's ongoing. It doesn't stop for federal holidays. It doesn't stop for weekends. It doesn't matter, the people doing this to you can be from any race. It can be from either gender. It doesn't matter the political affiliation, your religious denomination, none of that. It doesn't matter. They can be from any of those, and so can the targets. It is something that is just insidious. It's worldwide, and I personally think that regardless of the reasons, because there's many reasons why this is happening to people, what we're really looking at is a manifestation of an ongoing spiritual war that has been just this is just the latest round. Okay, because again, the title to this, let me take these headphones off. The title to this broadcast, or this podcast is called "This Fiery Trial," and it's taken from a verse in 1 Peter in the New Testament, chapter 4. Verse 12, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you as though some strange thing happened unto you. Okay. Verse 13, But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Okay, so he was saying back then, because the reasons they were dealing with it was behind the fact that they were followers of the Messiah, Yahushua, who the world mistakenly calls Jesus. But they were followers and believers in him. They began to found the Christians call it a church, but we know that that's not the word that was originally used. But his assembly, his congregation, and there were Jews who did not like it. There were, depending on where they were at, there were Romans who didn't like it. There were Greeks who didn't like it. Wherever they were at, they found themselves dealing with being tormented, dealing with community harassment. Many of them were killed. And that was, it became a form of entertainment in the Colosseums, was to grab, they say they were called Christians, okay? But again, some of this is iffy, because we know that as it says in Jude, these men of old who were transgressors from the womb, they got in there. They snuck in, they crept in unawares. They got into positions of authority. They got in control of records. They got in control of archives, and they started changing things. But so now they're telling us that they were called Christians. But when we do, study and research on that word Christian, we know that it means that one of the basic meanings of it is fool. Is a poor person, and someone who is just, you kind of look at them, they're just kind of in a down in that position, and you say, oh, that poor Christian. I mean, it didn't have the connotation that it has now, and maybe that was by design. I don't know, but we were those. We know that our ancestors, those early Afro-Hebrews who followed him, who went out and proselytized amongst the Gentiles, they referred to themselves as Netzarim. They were branches of the Messiah. And that church was, they were persecuted. And the Gentiles, when they joined in and started promoting and proselytizing, they found themselves being targeted too. They were suffering a form of community harassment. So it wasn't strange. Peter was saying it wasn't strange then, and so it's not strange now. It's a fiery trial. But what gives us strength, one of the reasons, that has given me strength, is knowing that this is the Most High is using the wicked to try us so that we can find out who we are. Okay, remember that last episode, one of the passages that I read from that sermon, the very last, I think it was the last part, he said, remember, look back to the triumphs, the breakthroughs that you had yesterday, that you had a month before, that you had a year before. Okay, that being able to do that, to look back on those moments of success and draw upon them and get strength from them and the courage to keep going forward, that is why the Most High is allowing us to go through this, so that we can have that type of strength, so that we can pull back, just draw up on that strength, and just go, he helped me out 5 months ago when I was dealing with this person over here in accounting, or when this person over here at the grocery store was messing with me, or this family member, or when I was just down and out and the Holy Spirit just came and comforted me. It's going to comfort me again. And we draw up on that. That's what he wants, people who can get internally just a spiritual strength. And we have that. We have that ability to do that. We don't have to go out and get strength through a bottle, of beer, or through, some vodka. We don't have to get it through just snorting a line of cocaine. We don't have to get that strength through having sex with a stranger that we pick up in a bar. We don't, that works for some other people. Okay. If that's what they need to do, hey, then that's what they need to do. But we find it in another way. And that's why he's allowing this, the Most High is allowing this to happen, so that we can find that internal strength that is founded in integrity. Okay. And when you look at it from that perspective, okay, when you realize that you are not dead, when you realize that you are still alive, you might be limping, okay, let's come on, let's keep it real. We might be limping when we come across that finish line, okay, or when we reach the gun lab, okay, we're not going to come through this without any scars. We're not going to come through this without any bruises, okay, we're going to get knocked down, okay, we're going to suffer some huge defeats. It's going to hurt so bad, it's going to be embarrassing, but we still make it through, okay? And I'm gonna this last video, was a podcast, but on YouTube it's gonna be, technically it's called a video, but it's like I was sharing, some songs in that sermon. See, that's what I had to do. I had to find sources of strength and encouragement to help me, that I would have to draw upon. Just some words that I could read, or just, a video that I could watch, or a song that I could, listen to, and, maybe just, lift my spirits up, and so, and you do the same too. And that's why I'm sharing this. I hope that episode, Chew on This, I hope that you're able to download that and just turn it into like an MP, what would that be, an MP3? Yeah, an MP3. And just listen to it every once in a while when you start getting frustrated, when, so-and-so's, giving you that hate stare, or the neighbor's trying to do the whole synchronicity. Just pretend like they just happen to be walking out the door when you're walking out the door. Happen to be walking in when you're walking in, that you can just, hey, just maybe put this on and just kind of listen to it. You know what I mean? Just get your head bobbing. Just, hey, that's the whole idea. But I'm just going to share some verses and some scriptures, some passages that definitely, just can help and uplift you too. And something that I do, again, this is an artistic ministry. So this isn't a proselytizing mission or ministry. This isn't, it's just, I'm not trying to teach, I'm just actually just sharing, what it is that, that definitely helped and inspired me. But I have that, whole creative artistic, perspective. That's just the way the Most High made me. And so one of the things that I did at one point was I took a t-shirt and I had some, first time I did it, I just used acrylic paint, and I just wrote all of these scriptures all over the shirt, all over the front of the shirt, just in different directions and such. And it was for me, basically, so that, that I could just look down and look at the scripture, look at the verse. Some of them I literally wrote out different, like if it was just maybe like a line or two, I kind of wrote it out so that it would be there, like pray without ceasing. That was one of them. What was another one? I think it was all things work together for good. All things work together for good to those who love the Most High, or to those who love Elohim. Just, different, passages, and just to help me make it through. And I realized, it dawned on me, I was, a woman said to me, because it was just someone that I had talked to about, our history, our heritage as, descendants of the Hebrew Israelites, as to who we are. And this was someone who had known this also. And so that was one of those instances where it was pretty much iron sharpening iron. And I wore the shirt one day and she was like, oh, I think that's what they were talking about doing in the book of Leviticus. And I was like, what? But she was saying that was something that I guess we were encouraged to do. I can't remember how she described it, but to literally to to inscribe, to put, I know we were to put it on the doorpost, just, what happened, coming through the wilderness and, the Red Sea. But the idea of having it right there readily available to call to mind, to maybe, be there that close, that we could look at it and just have that memory come right there, so that it can maybe help us out in a moment of, when the enemy strikes, and sends us, a fear vibe or a doubt vibe or something, that we can call upon that and just, keep moving forward. And so I just did it out of just instinct. I just liked those verses and I just felt like I needed it, so I just, put it on there. But, so I've got some verses, and some of them I've shared. I'm going to share some more, but, because that's really what this podcast is about. And, I just, sit here, turn on the microphone and start talking. And, unfortunately, I listen to a playback of I just play back every once in a while some of the different episodes, and I noticed that in a few of them, this is really weird. I don't know if anyone else has picked up on this, but in a few of them, I've noticed that it seems like whenever I started to talk about something really serious, a fire truck would go by. Now I'm not that, how can I say it? I don't want to give people that much credit. I do know that I live not too far from a fire department, okay? So that might explain it. But there have been times, like right now, it's sweating up in here because I had to close the window. Why? Because there's a couple of different, neighbors who like to bump their music really loud, and they just seem to, for some reason, just somehow just park either right across the street from where it seems like directly right across the street from my window, or directly beneath my window. And so I end up having to, I have to close the window. And so then it gets all stuffy in here, because I noticed a few times listening to playbacks that these guys, either this microphone is sensitive enough, okay, or these guys are talking really loud where it almost sounds like they're in the same room with me, as if they're like maybe in like the room next door or something. And so I just closed the window just to knock that out. I don't know if it's just like some type of noise campaign. I don't know. I don't put nothing past anybody. That's one of the things that and I think I look at it as one of the unintended good consequences of this, is that, it really, I just don't put anything past the majority of people on the planet now. I just really don't. Just some of the different, things that I've experienced, that people have done to me, or that I've, seen done to other people, and just listening to other people's testimonies and just experiences that they've had. Just nothing surprises me. I just, from a certain perspective, you just get kind of disappointed with humanity. How else can I say that? But and that, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I know we want to be I know we want to be positive. We don't want to be negative. But again, I just that was something that the Messiah, he there's a passage in John where it says that he, paraphrasing here, but it says that he knew men, that he wasn't, they were, I think it was when he first went to, at the beginning of his ministry, where he went during, I think it was the Passover, and he healed some individuals, and he taught in the temple, and people were so impressed, and they were just, believing on his name. But he said that he did not go at them, because he knew men. He knew what was in men. And, just the idea that these people who are now, just so, impressed and just pleased with what I'm doing, these can be the same individuals who, if given the opportunity, when the heat gets going, these are the same ones who would, who will abandon me, who will be, turning and talking smack and participating in the gaslighting, and so, so I don't feel too bad about that I have that opinion, because it's just coming from a place of experience. And he is the light of the world. He is definitely the light of my life. I don't make any bones about that, and I would encourage you to do the same, to keep him as the light of your life. We know that what we are going through, that he went through. And something that I listened to a video by a minister on YouTube not too long ago, and he said it very, very plainly. He said that you cannot you cannot call yourself a believer in the Messiah. You cannot believe in the Messiah and not partake in his suffering. You know, this idea that he's going to suffer and life is going to be easy peasy for us, that's just not how it works. If you are going to believe in him, then you will suffer. There will be individuals in this world who are going to hate you, who are going to attack you. And we know this. You see, that's one of the things that happens, which is why I think the Most High allows the enemy to do this to us, is that it makes us strong. It makes us, it gives us a resiliency and inner strength that a lot of other people don't have. We're not surprised now when we see certain things unfold, when certain things are said, when we see just the cruelty and the hard-heartedness of humanity. We're not that surprised. If we go back to 1 Peter chapter 4, I read verse 12. Let me just read the whole thing again. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you, but rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of the Messiah's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Okay, verse 14. If ye be reproached for the name of the Messiah, happy are you. For the spirit of glory and of the Most High's rest, for the spirit of glory and of Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. Okay, so there it is. We know that this is what is to be expected of us. The servant is not greater than the master. There's no way that he was going to suffer like that and that somehow life is just going to be easy for us. It doesn't work that way. He only calls the strong. And so if you're dealing with this and you are drawn to this book, if you're drawn to the precepts, to the laws and the statutes and commandments in this book, and you feel moved to apply them to your life, and you do it, and you sense and see the results, and they're positive enough for you to keep doing them, then that should be proof enough for you that you are strong. Because he doesn't want... And how can I say this? It's an internal strength. Now we know that technically, literally, we are weak. We can't go against these people that are messing with us, these targeteers, these perpetrators and stalkers. We don't have it. Many of us do not have the physical strength. Now, I know there's some of us, I've watched some of these videos, these brothers out here lifting weights and doing all this, they're being attacked. These guys, physically they have it, but we know that our enemy, they are very organized. They have the advantage of having technology. Many of them, the programs that they're in, they get funded from the military. They get the different directed energy beam weapons that they're using. They get them from the military. They have the police. Depending on the community that they're in, they have law enforcement who is working with them. They have on the job forces. They have many of the different managerial positions and such that are on their side as well. When you go on campus, some of the different campus security, some of the different professors and such that are in this administration, they're involved in this as well. So we know that on that regard, we are weak. Okay, we do not have that strength. Many of us, depending on what's going on for us, we come from backgrounds where we literally are dealing with, how can I say it? We have the propensity for alcoholism, for drug addiction. Many of us do not have social skills. We don't have, we're not born. We don't have like that ability to access inherently to instinctively access really healthy, mature conflict resolution skills. Okay, we don't have that. So we have to depend on him, and that's what he's looking for. He's looking for those who are humble enough to realize we can't do this on our own, and somehow we are drawn to this. But one of the things that the Messiah said, okay, let me just share this with you. In the book of John, he pointed this out. You go to John, I think it's in 15. That's one of the most powerful. John 14 and 15. Those are very important scriptures. Let's see if I can find that here I got it in one book. Let me see if I can find it in the other. Basically, he says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, okay, and ordained you. Okay, so there it is right there. It's not just by happen chance that you just for some reason just happen to feel like it makes sense to apply the words and the teachings of the Messiah to your life. You just didn't come up on that on your own. You were chosen. Okay, if he said, no man comes to me, the Father drew you to this. And that should make you feel special right there. Because think of the many, okay, the dozens in your community. Think of the hundreds in your state. Think of the thousands in your region who are not drawn to this, who are, and that I'm not saying that because they're not drawn to this that somehow they're not as good as us. I'm not saying that, but they're just not drawn to this. They're finding ways to deal with it through politics, through community activism, counter activism. They're finding ways to deal with this through health, through diet. They're finding ways to deal with this through social justice, but they're not drawn to this. We are. Okay, and he chose us. Many of us he chose before the foundation of the world, and that right there alone should make you feel special.
Coming on strong.
Yeah, see, that pretty much says it all. That's from Luciano. He's a really well-known reggae artist. But that's pretty much it. If you have the Most High, if you have His Son, then it makes it possible to pretty much endure this, to look at this, to look at it straight in the face, accept it for what it is, and I don't know. If you've got that, hey, I don't know what else you need. And you understand what I'm talking about in terms of on a spiritual basis. And what I wanted to do now is I just wanted to just share like some scriptures, just some different passages that have just kind of like helped me out. A lot of them are well known. Some of you, if you're, wielding this book like a sword, then some of, the different thrusts and parries and, blocks and, so maybe they won't be as new to you, but maybe they're, for those of you who might be finding this for the first time, or looking at the scriptures from this perspective from the first time, maybe some of these scriptures will help you out. But just some in the New Testament, some of them were Testament, some of them were in the Old Testament, because this is what we're dealing with. It's insidious and it changes faces. You know what I mean? It's got many different faces, many different heads, many different man. But we have no choice but to walk this out. Technically, okay, let me change that. Yeah, we do have a choice. We can choose to, blow ourselves out of here, by, suicide. We can choose to, avoid the reality of it by disappearing into drugs and alcoholism. We can, so there's other options, okay? We do have other choices, but we are we're in that category where we have been drawn to this. The Most High chose us. Many of us, we were created for this at the beginning of time. No, before time. At the foundation of the world. Time is part of this creation. Time is part of this drop in the bucket of eternity, because that's really what this is. This is just a drop in the bucket, and time is part of that this creation, okay? But He created us before the beginning of time. He created us when we're part of the spiritual realm, okay? And so He gave us, something that a lot of the other people who are dealing with this, a lot of those other people who are victims of gang stalking, they're not dealing with this in the same way. Okay, and so we're drawn to this. He said, as I shared with you earlier, the Most High chose us. What is it that the Messiah said? You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. Okay, and the question is, when did He choose us? Okay, so we've been chosen. We're choosing to walk this out in this fashion. And so we have this book, and this book is a sword, and it's got different passages and different scriptures that can help us out. And I found some of them that helped me out, and they, to the point that I have no problem with doing that. I'm one of these weird, the word, the phrase is, free spirit, if that's the word that you want to use, but scribbling things all over a t-shirt and wearing it, I have no problem with doing that. And so yeah, I'm just going to share some of these verses with you that just helped me out. Maybe they can help you out. Let's see. Let's start with one. Let's go to, we're right here in Romans. Okay, here we go. Romans chapter 8, starting at verse 37. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him that loved us. See, wasn't that what Luciano was just singing in that song? We have the love of the Messiah in us. So, this is, all things are possible. Let me start again. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in the Messiah, Yahushua, our Master. Okay, that's Romans chapter 8, verses 37 and 39. Let's go back to Romans chapter 18. No, Romans chapter 8, verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Okay, what we're dealing with, as hard as it is, and it's frustrating, it's embarrassing, it's confusing, it can be very fearful and intimidating, but what we're dealing with, it's so light in comparison to what it is that is waiting for us, the glory that we're going to get. Okay, it makes it bearable. Let's look at another one. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, starting at verse 8. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Okay, because we know that there are times when we're going to take some hits and we're going to take them hard. Because they will turn our family against us. They will turn co-workers. They will turn lifelong friends against us. They will lie on us. They will tell them vile things, make up all kinds of things, twist things to the point that if they could, they would. These people are capable of having them believe that we were involved in 9/11. Okay, this is how insidious this is, and how these people are able to work this. So, and that. There can be nothing more frustrating, more devastating than to have someone who you thought would always be a staunch supporter, that they would always have your back, and then lo and behold, you see a look of doubt, you see a look of contempt rise up in their eyes that they have for you because one of these little targeteers, one of these little jelly-backed, noodle-kneed, foul-mouthed cray-crays got up in there and said the right words in the right way, with the right expression, with the right tone of voice, and you've just lost a friend. You've just lost a family member. There can be nothing more devastating. But we have the Most High, and He's made a promise to us. And this is in Isaiah chapter 41, starting at verse 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. For I, Yahuwah thy Elohim, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Okay, and see, it gets no better than that. If you have the Almighty Creator on your side, everything else, it doesn't matter. Okay, Isaiah chapter 51. Let's look at a few more. Isaiah 51, starting at verse 12. I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man which shall be made as grass? And forgettest Yahuwah thy Maker, that hath stretched forth the heavens, and laid the foundations of the earth, and that hast feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy? And where is the fury of the oppressor? Okay, you see, that's something when I first read that, it amazed me. Because there were times when I would literally give these targeteers, I would give them my fear. I would be so scared. I would be so just the anxiety, just not understanding what was going on, and just give it to them, and they just ate it up. It must have been like a bowl of cereal with some sugar and a lot of good milk. They just ate it up and just kept coming for more. Okay, but then again, finding a place of peace, taking the time out to read the scriptures on a daily basis, to pray, and different verses, different passages would start to pop out, and that was one of them. And basically, what is he saying? How is it that you are scared, you are fearing this fellow who's gonna die, who's pretty much like grass, who's pretty much like a flower? And what do we know about a flower? What do we know about flower and grass? That they are some of the most delicate things on the earth, especially in comparison to the Most High. They wilt, they wither, they blow away. What is one? I can't find it right now, but there's one passage where it says, a flower, it wilts, it blows away, and you can't even tell where it was at. Okay, and he's saying you're fearing this individual who can perish like that. What about me? I made the entire earth. Why would you fear them and not fear me? Why would you have more for them than for me? And he says, I am he that comforteth you. Okay, and that's where my comfort comes from, and that's where your comfort comes from, especially if you are clinging to these scriptures and you are taking them to heart and you are starting to apply them, you're starting to keep the commandments. The idea of fearing this man, this individual, this group of people who they have to put their pants on one leg at a time like the rest of us. When they get a cold, they have to wipe their nose with some tissue or the sleeve of their shirt or their jacket, the same as everybody else. Okay, we put our trust in the Most High. We don't have any reason, especially if we are doing what's right, if we are pleasing in His sight, if we are keeping His commandments, if we are doing good deeds, if we are cultivating a relationship with Him, and we feel His presence in our life, then we have no reason to fear them. Let's look at another one that's just right in keeping with that. This is in Hebrews chapter 13, starting at verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have, for He hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, Yahuwah is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me.
Jah is calling you. Oh, we can't come home. Are you ready now? All you missionary soldiers in Jah army, righteous apostles serving the Almighty, come rally round Jah throne, 'cause we're leaving out our own. Are you ready now? Ready or not, I'm leaving. I am ready now. Mystery Babylon is singing. Are you ready now? Ready 'cause Jah is calling. I am ready now. I know just where I'm going. Get your sword and shield and armor ready. Prepare for battle against the adversary. We've got to cover ground, 'cause we're moving homeward bound. Yeah. Are you ready now? Ready or not, I'm leaving. Yes, I'm ready now. Mystery Babylon is falling. Are you ready now? Ready 'cause Jah is calling. I am ready now. I know just where I'm going. Come Jah children, rally round Jah throne. Rally round the ice green and gold. Come Jah children, rally round Jah throne. Rally round the ice green and gold. Yeah. All you missionary soldiers in Jah army, righteous apostles serving the Almighty, come and rally around Jah throne, 'cause we're leaving out our own. Are you ready now? Ready or not, I'm leaving. Yes, I'm ready now. Mystery Babylon is falling.